Hey guys, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks preview video. And today we have the stats of the upcoming Polish Tier 8 heavy tank, that's Czolg T wz51. If I say that name wrong, I'm sorry, I'm not Polish, I'm Swiss, so my Polish is not on point. The only thing which I could say is once the swearing word, and the other thing is being Siemka. No, kidding. And yes, today I want to show you what wargaming has to offer us with this new vehicle. I want to compare with an already existing vehicle, and plus some other people at the moment have a lot of flashbacks to a particular premium tank. The big problem right now with the Czolg T wz51 is that we don't yet have the armor models. It's something which is kind of sad. None of the news site doesn't have it yet. So yeah, we need a little bit look out for that later on. But so far we have the most important stats. So let's see what wargaming is saying about it. And also before you ask, this will be the first iteration of the Czolg T wz51, and the first iteration of this tank in a super test has more armor but less mobility, and the second will be vice versa, less armor and more mobility. Hence why the title says first iteration or first part or something like that. Not yet decided. But yeah, this is what wargaming says about that vehicle. The Polish 3's introduction to the game will be preceded by a premium tank, the Project 51 prototype from the early 1950s. Just a little bit of trivia of this: it was basically made by a cadet and it's a paper tank. It will be a traditional tier 8 heavy tank with good frontal armor. You will love the turret and upper plate armor, having okay damage, and what the hell, like it's great damage, 440, and the depression angles of -80 degrees, which means it can be effective in uneven terrain too. This tank will feel good playing mainly on short and medium distances, easily breaking through defense lines. It is difficult to find a direct comparison to another already existing tank, so this one has a good chance to become an interesting addition to the game. And obviously remember, those are preliminary stats, so they are subject to change. I personally think this tank looks a lot like a Defender, in my opinion. The pike nose, the strong turret, the alpha gun, so I think we are going to compare it with the Defender. Or what do you think? Like, it makes the most sense to me. And this is also where I start to get a little bit the flashbacks with this vehicle. I really do not need another Defender, because right now, as you probably know, Defenders are rocking strongholds, clan wars, and have a huge amount of win rate for a tier 8 premium tank. So yeah, let's put the Defender, oops, this is Audition, this is how you hear me, this one, and compare it with the new tier 8 heavy tank Polska Premium. It has 50 HP more, from 1500 to 1550, which is, I guess, not that big of a deal, in my opinion. Those 50 HP, yes, they can sometimes save your life, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal at the moment. It has an engine with 750 horsepower, a weight of 52 tons, and an HP to ton ratio of 14.33. Excuse me there. Not only do you have a little bit more horsepower, 50 to be precise, but you also have better power to weight ratio, almost 1. That's not that bad. Plus the maximum speed and reverse speed is actually the same, meaning this tank will, or the new Polska tank will accelerate faster and be more effective when it comes to drive up and down hills. So yeah, that's something, I guess, so far. The whole traverse speed is 38 degrees per second, which is a whopping 6.7 degrees faster than the one on the Object 252U, meaning it will be quite maneuverable. Even the turret traverse speed, which is 29 degrees per second on the Polish vehicle, will be better than the one on the Defender, which has, where is it? there it is, 26 degrees, so it's 3 degrees faster. So overall, almost 9 degrees faster turn rate of gun and hull, meaning that I think circling this vehicle will be actually pretty hard. And again, just saying, this is supposed to be the more armored version. The terrain resistance values, they are exactly the same as with the Object 252U, and the fuel range is 30 meters more instead of 350, 380 meters, so another plus for this Polish vehicle. And I'm again like, okay, that's a little bit odd, I guess. But oh well. Radio range, no one cares about, but actually that's a low value for a tier 8 heavy tank. 525 meters of radio range is really darn low. Again, as already said, sadly enough, we do not have any armor models to speak of right now, so it's a little bit hard to compare it. I will most likely do a separate video about that, because it is, in my opinion, it's really important to get those, get those armor values in. At the moment, it says it has 170 on the front, it has 90 millimeters in the side and 80 millimeters in the back. This is nothing which we ever saw on tier 8. I guess from what I can see right now, this is my personal prediction or my guess as already said, I guess the driver's hatch will be around 170 millimeters thick with up to 220 or 260 millimeters of effective armor. I'm not entirely sure there what they said in the video. And the pike nose will probably be around 110 millimeters thick or something like that. And I do hope that the lower plate is I really do hope that the lower plate is much weaker than anything else on the tank. I don't need to have another 140 millimeters of armor in a lower plate, especially in such an angle. Sadly enough, you can see this armor plate looks quite thick, so we can try to compare with the model of the Defender, and you can see it is also quite thick on the Defender. See that? This is what I made, this armor plate. So chances are that this armor plate actually will be around 140 to maybe even more armor thickness. So I'm really not looking forward to that one. Seriously, I really do not look forward to that one. But we will see when we get the damage models in. The turret has only, in quotation marks, 210 millimeters of frontal armor, 150 on the side and 100 on the back. And as you can see, the turret is quite streamlined, especially the gun mantle, except here it's a little bit flattish, but it looks actually pretty darn good, and it has even something of the K91 turret in my opinion. I think that this turret will be stronger than the one on the Defender. As you can see, the Defender has a decent amount of flat spaces, like here, 250 millimeters almost. Here's more, because as you can see, the good angle. But here again, you have this 250 or 240 even millimeters of armor. So even though this is only 210 millimeters thick, I think the turret of the, or at least the front of the turret of the Czolg T wz51 will be stronger than the one on the Defender. What we do not know yet is, are the cupolas weak spots like they are on the Defender? Is the roof a weak spot? Because let's face it, it could be the same roof problem as an IS-3. And you could already see it is inspired by an IS tank, so who knows? I really do hope that something like with these plates up here, or the cupolas, at least there are weak spots presented in the tank, because at the moment, the lower plate doesn't really look like a weak spot, and that's saddening in my opinion. I desperately hope that this tank will not have 55 millimeters of turret roof armor, because that would be simply ridiculous. Meaning, hey, it doesn't matter, every single tier 10 TD except for the high calibers like 183 and Jackpan 700 will have auto bounce here because of the angle. Just so you know. But yeah, We don't know yet have the armor model, so let's jump to the gun, which is the 122mm wz51, meaning it will be able to penetrate everything with 40mm of armor because of auto penetration mechanics, or overmatch mechanics, excuse me, the auto penetration. Meaning when you face something like a Stridswagen 103, the tier 9 one, you will penetrate wherever you hit it. Except if you hit the tracks and then the shell doesn't hit the model behind it. It has 440 alpha, which I already said is the highest amongst all tier 8 heavy tanks, tied with the 252, Mauerbrecher and VK10001P. It has a little bit higher HE damage, 30 more, from 530 to 560, which I guess is nice, it's not too bad, but the penetration rate is lower by 7 points of penetration, from 218 compared to the 225. Also, the premium penetration is lower by 20, and I think that's a lot, because 245mm of penetration with a PCR. Dude, you will have big problems trying to penetrate something like a Type 5 Heavy. So, good luck with that. Really good luck with that. 68mm of penetration with HE stays the same as with the Defender. But now comes the big problem in my opinion. Sure, we do not know yet the soft stats of the gun, but really? It has almost 165, not almost, 165 DPM more at the moment than the Object 252. Its reload time is around 1.3 seconds faster. Its accuracy is it's 0.08 better. Oh, yeah, it's better. And that's 0.08. The aim time is lower by 3.2 compared to 3.1 when we round it up. And that's a lot. Like, the gun feels at the moment so much better than the one on Object 252 version Defender. It really depends how those values are, how the dispersion on the move, turret traverse and tank traverse are. But yeah, the aim time is real long, but the accuracy is better, the DPM is better, so I have really a bad feeling about this tank right now. And now comes a little bit of a dilemma. I already asked the chief poster Sebastianul from the Armor Patrol if this is correct. He said that in the stats he got, it stands minus 10 degrees of gun depression, even though Wargaming said it's minus 8. So there are two things. Either it's a typo from the one which provided the stats, or this tank will have over the front pike nose over here 8 degrees of gun depression and here 10 degrees. That would be a lot for a tier 8 heavy tank. Like, the Defender already is decent enough with 6 degrees of gun depression. Like, it's the same as an IS-7, so you can work with that. But this tank has an additional 2 to maybe even 4. That is a lot of gun depression and would make this tank a freaking... Like, this tank at the moment looks like the best all-rounder there is. It has great gun depression, it has a punching gun, it has decent mobility and maybe really good armor. Yes, we couldn't really see how much side armor it really has, only 90mm, that's 10mm less than on the Object 252 version 4, but that's not a lot. Like, 10mm less, that's still 10mm more than what the Tiger 2 has. And the Tiger 2 is supposed to be a tank which has decent enough armor. Yeah, at the moment look, don't get me wrong, the tank looks great. I'm always looking forward to new tank trees. But what we definitely do not need is another brain-dead tier 8 heavy tank which breaks the meta even more. Especially because Wargaming can't balance it right now. So at the moment I hope we can appeal to their common sense, and I do hope that they are going to balance this tank a lot better. I really hope that armor models show enough weak spot to make it possible for tier 6 vehicles to penetrate it more or less reliably, probably even frontally. Or yeah, I really also hope that at least the lower plate is not a huge no-go zone like it is with the Defender. I really hope, because again, we don't need another OP vehicle on tier 8. Other than that, I guess it will be an interesting vehicle. It looks cool, don't get me wrong. Looks interesting, looks cool. Yeah, we will see how it goes. I really look forward to the armor models, and I look forward to the second iteration, what they're going to change. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you think about this tank. Do you also have Defender flashbacks, or are you really hyped for that vehicle? Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on the battlefield. Bye bye.